Welcome to the European Championships. We are here in Chamonix, the site of the very first Winter Olympics in 1924. This small commune is home to just 9,800 people, but it boasts one of France's oldest skiing resorts and also the largest mountain in all of Western Europe, Mont Blanc. Standing at 15,781 feet, it attracts over 20,000 mountaineering tourists each year. We're here for the 10th Lead and Speed European Championships, traditionally held every 2 years since the competition began in 1992. Since then, we've seen 28 different champions, and we're here now to find ourselves 4 more from the 20 different nations gathered to compete. Welcome to Chamonix, to semi-finals here at the European Championships 2013. It is finals day. We start with our 40 athletes, 20 for the men's, 20 for the women's. 26 rather, there's me falling back into bouldering mode. We're here for the lead semi-finals, 26 for the men's, 26 for the women's. We take that down to 8 by the end of this, the semi-finals here. Some big names making it through into those semi-finals. Ramon de Grange, Ramonet here, Magnus Midtbo, Jakob Schubert, Cedric Lechat, Jörg Verhoeven, Dimitri Sharafutinov through as well in the men's. Keen boulderer now making it through onto the lead European Championships as well. He also competed in the speed here yesterday, as did a lot of those other athletes competing for the overall title of European champion. Some nice surprises as well here. Dmitry Agironov of Russia, young athlete born in 1994, the brother of Dinara Fakhretdinova, well-known lead climber. Young athlete who took the World Youth Championship in Singapore last year is here and putting on quite the show, competing with the men leading here. But today we're going to be starting things off with a look at the women's here in the semi-final. Again here some big names, Julia Chanody, Christina Stutz, but as we go into the rest of it as well, we have Cecilia Lavezu here. You can see Anak Verhoeven, young athlete, up and coming as well, Jana Sherashneva, Jenny Levada here, and Maya Vidmar. I'll be taking you through the routes in just a short moment's time. Our athletes are out there. You can see them gathered at the bottom of the wall having a little look here. Again, big names on this page. Magdalena Roek, Katarina Posch, Charlotte Durif, Ellen Janiko, Johanna Ernst and Mina Markovic there as well. Johanna Ernst, previous European champion, as is Charlotte Durif. Both of those athletes, in the absence of Angela Aita, are going to be looking at regaining their former title. So here's a look at the women's semi-final list as it stands at the moment. I will of course take you through the routes in a short while, tell you the gradings that have been given by Adam Pustelnik, our chief route setter here at the European Championship. After the women's qualifications yesterday, had a long chat to him about how that worked out and how he's feeling about it. He's definitely stepped up the difficulty, as we're going to be seeing them at the semi-final here in a few moments' time. Here's the men's then, some of the male athletes that are making it through to the semi-final. This is the start list. So starting in reverse order with the lowest to qualify, Loic Timmermans here. Thomas Tarporn and Dmitry Sharafutinov, traditionally boulderers, making it through into the semi-finals here, but relatively low down. Jörg Verhoeven, Domit Skovic, the young Slovenian athlete, started to make a name for himself on the lead circuit last year, making it through to the finals in Atlanta, if you remember that one. Also a reminder to everybody that's joining us that you can watch a good stack of our previous coverage on the IFSC's YouTube page as well. If you want to go back and have a look at Atlanta or any of the previous events that we have covered over the past year or so, you can find them on YouTube on the IFSC's page. Here's the big names though. These are the ones that are going to be really causing a stir as we move through this competition. Jakob Schubert, Ramon de Grange, Magnus Mippo, Manuel Roman, and there is Dmitry, the young Russian athlete I was talking about a few moments ago. Keep your eyes peeled for him as we move through this competition. There's Thomas Tauporn next to Jorg and Cedric Lechat at the back there. You can also see just next to him Sebastian Helenke for Germany. Let the climb mime begin. If you want to get in touch with us, you know where to go. You can get yourselves onto Twitter and use the hashtag IFSCWC. I'll be with you all the way through today. When we finish up here at the semis, we've got quite a long break, but we're back this evening for the finals in front of a packed crowd. This square will be absolutely jam-packed. We saw it starting to fill up yesterday in the speed finals and the paraclimbing finals. If you missed any of that action, you want to recap it, again, you can get it yourself over onto the YouTube page and watch it on the IFSC's channel there. Both these routes have been stepped up from the qualifications quite drastically in terms of difficulty and what we're expecting to see here. Jakob Schubert testing one of the holds there on the wall. And the binoculars are out as well here. There's Maya Vidmar right in front of us at the moment. Do let us know where you're joining us from as well. Get in touch. Any predictions you might have for that all important 8 places going through to the final later on this evening. Who you think might make it. I'd love to see young Dmitry making it through into the final as well here. And 10. Ramane competing here in the semi-finals, 2 times European champion. For the women's then, looking at their previous European champions, Susie Good in 1992, Liv Sansos in 1996, Muriel Sarkeni in 1998, Katrin Sedlmeyer 2000, Chloe Minoret in 2002, Bettina Schopp 2004, Charlotte Durif in 06, Johanna Ernst in 08, and Angela Eiter in 2010. Those are your previous women's European champions, 2 of them here again to try and reclaim that title. Had a fantastic day yesterday, moving through the speed finals and also the paraclimbing finals. Results are of course up online. You can find them there now on an 8A that we're looking at. Sorry, 8C. Yes, we go backwards. An 8B plus to an 8C that we're looking at here for the men's. Starts off to get tough at roughly the 5th draw. That's a little bit lower down than this. Very much a power-based route. Some compression later on there you can see around the arrows. Before pushing up to the very top. The upper section around the 2 triangle volumes. Using the arête of those volumes. Going to be very tricky. And the final clip as well is another really interesting one to keep your eyes peeled for the men's. There's no foothold for the final clip. You're holding on with your left hand. And the final clip is on the left. You have nothing at all there for your feet. So you have to figure out a way of matching or crossing with your hands, hanging from the wall, to try and clip in for the final draw. That's going to be another interesting one to look at there. I'll talk you through it a little bit more as we welcome our first couple of athletes in a short amount of time. Ashley Scott's saying their timing is a little out of the sync. Climb mime. They'll have to sort that out before they head to the Olympics. So we're waiting now for our first couple of athletes to come out. There you can see the mountains in the background. A nice blue sky here for us again today. Once more hoping that that sudden rain that we had the other day is going to stay away for us. Question for you while we're waiting for our athletes to come out then. In the background, that mountain range you can see, they're all part of Mont Blanc. Who can name the peak that we can see on the far right here? Who can name the peak of Mont Blanc that we're looking at here from this angle? Free tickets to the final later on this evening for anyone that can name that one.
Attention quand tu te lèves un petit peu, mais normalement il n'y a pas de soucis parce que je t'aiderai en haut donc.
Not long now then before we get things underway with our semi-finals. Athletes are just getting sorted behind the wall. You can see a few of them in the warm-up area. This square will be absolutely packed as we move through to this evening as well for the finals. If you can make it down, do try to. The atmosphere online is always nice, but it's not quite the same as being here in person. The spotlights on the wall, the music going, the crowd cheering for the athletes. 2 of those athletes come out to join us now. For the men's then, Loic Timmermans, 18-year-old athlete from Cranham, world ranked 29th, just making a start here on this route. The best on the world rankings he's done is at the end of the World Cup rankings 2012, he was 25th, but he came first at the male juniors lead European Youth Cup in Edinburgh this year. And of his top 12 best results, looking at the male Youth A categories in lead and also boulder, not one of them is below a podium position. First, seconds and third places for Loic Timmermans in his top 12 results. All medals. Can he achieve one here? Next to him then, climbing for the women's, just coming out for us, Mathilde Bromane. 24-year-old athlete, world ranked 18th. She came 6th at Mokpo in 2012. Made finals in Imst Mokpo last year. In 2011, made finals at Barcelona, Cran. Just missed out at Amman, coming 9th. So these two routes we're looking at here then. For the men, we're looking at an 8B plus to an 8C. As I said, starts off at roughly the 5th draw. It's not too hard to read. For an on-site route, it's not too tough. Should be no problems with reading the route itself. It's very much power-based. The upper section, those two triangle volumes we looked at a few moments ago. It's compression there using the erect. And then, as I said, there's the no-foot clip-in at the very top there that could cost a couple of athletes. Adam has said he really does hope for no more than one top on this route. And let's hope these predictions can be a little more accurate than we saw in the women's qualifications earlier on in the day yesterday. From the 5th draw then, it's quite continuous. They've tried to eliminate any points where they can pause and shake out the arms. No crux points, very continuous route. Mathilde Bromane then over on the women's 8B, this one. There are those two yellow volumes you can see there. She's using one of them now as she moves across. But the route setters have made some changes during the night, quite a few, to make it a little bit harder. Adam says he's not stressed just yet, but he won't pass judgment until after they've started climbing. Definitely more complex than the men's. A lot of holds, meaning that some of these athletes might try to take risks using some of those extra holds. And a section up to the two triangles, the upper section on the right hand route now, very complicated. Around the 12th to 13th move it starts to get really tricky up until the triangles further up. I think Mathilde is just moving into that section. From there on, it's a simple resistance section up to the top. 11 moves roughly from the triangles onwards. Not to say that it's not strenuous. Should be quite similar to the second qualification route we had yesterday for the women's. Same level of difficulty all the way up, as in on this route there is the same level of difficulty, not the same level of difficulty as the qualifications. This is definitely an increase, definitely harder than the quals. And the last 4 or 5 moves should be a good dividing point for the higher ranked athletes as well. The last clip is again not easy to do, around the Pac-Man, which we'll see if we get up to the Pac-Man in a little while with these two athletes. Timmermans down here then. A good effort there at the semi-finals. Will it be enough based on this more difficult route with some of the other athletes that we have yet to come? Really interesting to watch Dmitry Sharafutinov climb in the lead qualifications the other day. And there's the top angle for you. Mathilde starts to come up here. You can see the kind of angle she's at. Graphic and the top 8 athletes as often as we can, so you can see where the standing is at present. So we wait for our results to pour in. This is the women's now then. Mathilde Brumain at 40 plus, Evgenia Kazbekova 28 plus. So Mathilde setting the bar high here, only a few moves away from the top. Tina Jonsson Hafsas for Norway now coming out to have her attempt here at the semi-finals. Hafsas, 19 years old, born and lives in Oslo. If you have any questions at all about any of these athletes, about how the competition is run, or what exactly we're looking for here, you can get them into us on Twitter. Tina Jonsson Hafsas, 165 centimeters in height. local climbing team Kolsas. Started climbing at the age of 12 and competed in her first competition just 6 months later. She won the national championships after just 1 year of climbing. Came first at the Female Juniors Lead European Youth Cup in Kran in 2012. And then again, if you see the difference between that and moving on to the senior circuit, she then came 41st at the Women's Bouldering World Cup for the IFSC in Kitzbühel this year. Tina Jonsson Hafses coming out for us here. Tina with a heel hook here as she starts to move over to the right hand side, clipping in around the 21st handhold here. And again, if you are just joining us, just to recap exactly what we're looking at, the female route here. We're looking at an 8B. Definitely more complex in terms of how to read the route than the men's is. We've already seen a 40 plus though, which is probably going to be getting Adam a little bit worried right now, considering that there are only 48 in all moves on this route. A lot of holds though towards the top. That could confuse some of the athletes as to how exactly they're supposed to attack the route. Saw a couple of different ways of doing that midsection around the second yellow volume on the wall. From around the 12th to 13th hold, it starts to get really tricky. The 12th to 13th hold is this Elliott you can see. I'll try and show it you in a few moments. This is the crowd gathering in the square at the moment then. And that's the upside down world. The Elliott hold that you can see there. The Elliott hold you can see is a little bit lower down, just where the rope's being pulled down from now. Two bulges just on the crease in the wall where the incline increases from the base. That's the 12th and 13th hold. From there on, it starts to get really tricky up until around the triangles. Those two triangles you can see further up on the wall. Not on the side closest to us, the one furthest away. One of them's grey and one of them's orange. This is the women's we're talking through now. And from that point onwards, from the triangles on, it's a simple resistance section up to the top. This is Marco Uzangarita with one of the most awesome chalk bags I've seen in a long time. That's a ghost from Mario. Strapped to his back now. And maybe he's hoping it's going to chase him up the wall or something. Next athlete out then for the women's will be Christina Stutz. Marco Uzangarita for the men's. Yesterday was a score of 31 plus and then a 32 plus. Sent him through to the semi-finals in 23rd place. He's 30 years old, Marco Antonio. From Manlleu in Barcelona. World ranked 48th at the end of the World Cup season in 2012. He was 38th. Came 15th at Zinning in 2012. 19th at the World Championships in Paris. So a frequent semi-finalist. A personal best for the bouldering was 11th at the IFSC Climbing World Cup in Sheffield 2010. For the lead, the personal best that he's looking at is 15th. The one that he achieved at Zinning, relatively recent as well. Can he improve on that here? Next to him on the female route now, Christina Stutz. Made it through yesterday in 23rd place after one top and a 45 plus. Topped the first route, got 45 plus on the second. She's 22 years old from Galnukirchen. World ranked 27th at the moment. All previous results are in juniors categories, either female youth A or female junior lead categories, where she's had quite a good run. Several bronze medals. No silvers or bronzes, silvers or golds though. Let's see how she gets on as she moves through this one. Those bronze medals for her then were achieved in the female juniors lead category in Cran 2009, in Edinburgh 2009, and in Munich in 2009. She also has one in the female youth A lead category in Annecy in France in 2008. Her most recent result was at the female juniors lead European Youth Series, again in Annecy in France 2010. She came 5th. Cam is joining us as well in Twitter. Hello Campbell Harrison. Saying super psyched that the lead season is starting back up. Perfect way to get psyched to train hard. Campbell, Mike would like to know whether you're excited to get your t-shirt in Canada. As Christina Stutz comes down here. If you remember as well, when we were in Innsbruck just recently at the Boulder Comp there, we had both the Backer sisters, Barbara and Sabine. Sabine unfortunately having to draw out of the competition due to an injury there. An update on that one from Mr. Graham Alderson, who's just let me know. She's apparently off crutches now, Sabine Backer. Let's hope that she gets back in time for Munich, maybe. And if you're watching now, Sabine, from Graham, myself and everyone here, get well soon. Love to see you back in Munich. Don't push too hard too quickly. Barbara Backer then here now with her climb in the semi-final. She was 21st yesterday, had a 49 plus on the first route, route 1, and a top on the second route. She's 30 years old, Barbara Backer. Height of 159 centimeters, 48 kilograms in weight, from Langenfeld. She's been climbing for 20 years, definitely one of the more experienced athletes here. World ranked 15th. At the end of the World Cup ranking 2011, she was 12th. Halenke is down. Barbara Backer still pushing here though. Full there from Barbara Backer. Will it be enough to see her through into the finals? Still plenty more very big names to come. Martin Bergant will be next out for the men's, and Tina Susterzik for the women's. And Barbara Backer has finished up here. Bit of climb mime here at the bottom of the wall. It's quite advanced dialect that he's speaking there as well. Martin Bergant moving towards the wall to start his climb for Slovenia. Bergant through to the semi-finals. In 19th place with a 30 plus on his first climb and a 38 plus on his second during the qualifications. Young athlete from Slovenia, 17 years old, born in Kran. Again, like most of the Slovenian athletes, now lives in Skopje Loka. Best results so far to date, we're looking at a gold medal in the Male Youth B Lead European Youth Cup in Edinburgh 2011. Most recent result in Grindelwald this year at the European Youth Championships, Male Youth A Boulder category, 8th. So just missed out on a place in the final in the boulder category there. Tina Susterzik, 20 years old. Another athlete from Slovenia, born in Kran. Doesn't live in Skopje Loka, she lives in Zabnica. I bet you she travels to Skopje Loka for some of that. It's like it's a magnet for all climbing in Slovenia. Most recent result, 5th at the Female Juniors Lead European Youth Cup in Kran 2012. And that's actually her best as well, so improving. Now this is the 12th and 13th hole that you can see her on now. for the women's from here on up to the triangle. This is where it gets really tricky. A ball then for Bergant, around 29 plus, I believe. We'll have a look at some of those results in a few moments' time, see how the standings are. Here's Tina Sesterzik. Sesterzik up to the 21st hold here. Trying to sort out exactly where she's going. You can see this hold that's over to the left now, the blue one there, that actually isn't marked. That's the next move for progression. That's over to the right. The big one you can see up the top there, that's 22. She's on 21. So this is what we were talking about earlier with these extra holds that are on the wall. Can make it quite difficult to read the beater, and it's sapping the energy there as well. So you can see what the plan has been. Diabolical scheming of Adam Pustelnik to try and get these female athletes into some form of order after the madness that was the women's qualifications. Here's Thomas Tarporn. Tarporn, 19th in the qualifications, 30 plus on his first climb, 38 plus on his second. 22 years old from Shenzhen, world ranked 13th. Finished up the World Cup rankings in 2011 in 7th. Has had his gold medal at the World Youth Championships in Edinburgh in 2010. Former World Youth Champion in male junior lead category. Julia Serrier for France, born on the 1st of March 1993. Height of 1 meter 67, weight of 50 kilograms. Junior world champion in 2011. 13th at the first stage of 2011 World Cup. Training haunt is Chambéry. Strong points she lists as technique, so this should be a good one for her. Weak points are jumps, so more dynamic moves, and also the quick decisions. Interesting thing though could be around that point we just saw our last athlete come down on the women's award. Those quick decisions that need to be made there so you don't become too exhausted. In terms of a prep routine then, this is an interesting one. She says, I have lots of little habits and routines for prepping my route, and I never forget my lucky earrings. And there they are. Lucky earrings. Anyone else with something like that? A penchant for some sort of bizarre accessory when you climb? A jaunty hat perhaps, or a pair of funky shoes. In this case we've got these earrings. Let's see how much luck they can give her here. When asked to describe herself in 3 words, she said determined, stubborn, but cheerful. That was the 6th draw she's just moved past there. I've just clipped into, rather. She's going to be moving on from that point now. It's Dmitry Sharafudinov starting off for the men's. From Russia. World champion in bouldering. Qualified for this semi-finals in 18th place with a 32 plus and a 35 in the qualification stage. 26 years old, from Korkino, lives in Ekaterinburg. First at Vale this year, second at Innsbruck, third Lagdragamer, third at Kitzbühel, fifth at Mio, and first at Chongqing. So there you are, he's made every single final this year. We would expect it. First at the World Championships in Paris, first in Munich last year, first in Munich in 2011. First at the World Championships in 2011. The list just goes on and on and on with Dimitri's achievements, but he's predominantly a boulderer. We saw the endurance becoming a bit of a problem for him during the qualifications. Is the endurance of a long route going to be tough for him again here? Dimitri wasn't in Canada this year. He didn't quite have time enough to get the visa together. Was in Vale, but a big shame, as we were talking about, I said just a few moments ago, made every final that he's competed at this year. But he won't get the points for Toronto, obviously, because he wasn't there. Didn't have quite enough time to get the visa. So wasn't quite able to get over there for competing in Toronto. So he's here now instead, making up for it, climbing the lead route at the Chamonix European Championship semi-finals. I think this next section for Dimitri is going to come down to how pumped he is at the moment. You can see he's shaking out some stuff here, the lactic acid. Now he should be able to make this move from 29 to 30. He's definitely got the power in his hands to do it. And that was it. That was the one that's cost a few athletes their position in the final here today. Dimitri's got it. He's now up to 31st hold. Unfortunately, coming down there. As I say, not traditionally a lead climber. Did pretty well in the speed though. It's going to help him with the overall, as he's also going for the overall European Championship title. Just talking to Mr. Graham Alderson, who's sitting next to me, saying that Dimitri's actually already won the World Cup this year, the overall in bouldering. Jakob Schubert chasing him for it, but even if Jakob takes gold in Munich and Dimitri has a bad result, Dimitri still takes gold on the overall. So at least there's a perk there for him, even though he might not be going through to the finals here. Julia Shalody here now for us. Now we are into our 19 equal first place positions from the women's category yesterday. Julia Shalody topped both routes, so it's fairly safe to assume that every athlete you see from here on in, yesterday in the qualifications, managed to do 2 tops. Julia Shalody, 17 years old, lives in Paris, came 53rd in the overall World Cup 2012, first at the Female Youth A-Lead European Youth Cup in Edinburgh. This year though, she's been climbing since 2000. The important results for her were winner of the French Lead Youth Championship in 2013, also winner of the European Youth Cup in 2012, second in the French Boulder Youth Championship in 2012, and winner of the French Lead Youth Championship in 2011. So quite big results there for her. Mario Lechner for Austria now, out for the men's then. Boulderer though, is she going to have the same problem that Dimitri And the crowd are about to get rather loud as just coming out for the women's wall here now is Cécile Avezou. There she is, she has 3 kids. The oldest female athlete through into the semi-finals here, 41 years old. Here she is starting off then for her semi-final battle here to try and make it through into the final. Well deserving of a place in the final. We saw her in the finals in the bouldering at the World Championships in Paris last year. 2 tops in the qualifications for her as well. Very quick up to the 12th and 13th holds, you can see it there. Moving into the tricky section now. You can see these extra dotted foot holds and hand holds. Jessica Pills, another double top in the qualifications for Austria. starting off her climb. 16 years old. World ranked 34th. She's from Haag. Here are the placements for the men's route then so far. Our high point is 35 plus, held by Luc Timmermans. The two Belgium athletes still at the very top of the leaderboard here so far. Luc Timmermans, Mathilde Brumeng. Mathilde with a 40 plus on the women's. Well, there you can see the gold, silver, bronze current positions at the moment. Shara Fugnov there in third place. Still quite a few athletes. 14 to come after Mikhailo Shalazhin finishes his climb, and some of them are very well known. We've got Ramone and Jakob still to come. Jessica Pills, world ranked 34th. On the right hand side of your screen now, she came third at the European Youth Cup in Edinburgh this year, second at the European Youth Championships in bouldering in Grindelwald this year as well. That was the female youth A category. So remember about Jessica, she's only 16 years old, competing here. Quite a few of the well-knowns. A fall there for Mikhailo Shalazhin. A good effort though. Could quite possibly have pushed Luc Timmermans out of the top spot there actually. He might have moved a little bit further on. Here's Jessica Pills. Going up to the 23rd hole now. And this is the point where you can get a little bit, or go a little bit wrong with the beater. She needs to go up to the right hand side. It's 26th she's got now. Out for the pinch, the big blue pinch you can see a bit further on. Playing with her feet a little bit here. That's the 27th. That's the 20th hold here. There's the 21st with the left now. Gonna have to move up and to the right a little bit here into this sort of half roof section. And then start striking over to the left again. Still an exciting finals to come for you guys later on this evening. We take a relatively long break actually after the semi-finals, so the route setters can reset the walls for the finals. Change the routes. But we'll be back later on this evening with the finals here at the European Championships. The final few climbs of Chamonix 2013. We've got Briançon coming up for you next week. If you can't make it down to that event, you can of course watch it online where you're finding us now. Anak Verhoeven on the right hand side. Oh, a little bit shaky there, and he's come down as well. A very good effort around the 38th hold here. One of the best climbs we've seen so far for Francesca Vetterata. Anak Verhoeven on the right hand side then for the women's now, with those two tops again. Let's put her in the top 19, the equal place positions. Anak Verhoeven, 16 years old, from Schriek. World ranks 29th, second at the female Youth A Lead European Youth Cup in Edinburgh, Great Britain, 2013. Of her Anak Verhoeven still going strong here, 27th hold. Wim, her father, no doubt, down on the ground with no nails left at this point. And a slip, unfortunately, there as she tried to move up. Will it be good enough? Quite possibly not, with Mathilde setting the bar so high from the very off. 40 plus. She's still smiling though, so all good. Here's the men's as they stand at the moment. Then it was Francesca Vetterata that now just moved up into the top place position. 38 plus. Luke Timmermans, 35 plus. Michaelo Shalagin in third with 34 plus. So a new high point for us, 38 plus here. Here's the women's, still with the high point of 40 plus for Mathilde. Katja Sauerwein in second with 37 and Barbara Backer in third with 32 plus. And where's this? There's another guess for you as well. What peak is this that we're looking at here on the Chamonix range of Mont Blanc? Answers on the back of a postcard. Looks like we're having a bit of a clean here. So a few moments before we get things underway with our next few athletes coming out. Up to the halfway point now. Hence the clean. Crowd still milling around at the bottom of the square here. This is going to get absolutely packed later on this evening. Thousands of people gathered to watch the finals for the lead climbing. Just 16 athletes, 8 from the men's, 8 from the women's. Tension will begin to build definitely into this evening. Very high probability of us having Mathilde Roumain coming through into the finals later on. 40 plus. We got Jena Scherer-Schneever, Rebecca Stotz, Nikki van Bergen, Jenny Lavada, Maya Vidmar, Katarina Porsche, Dinara Fakhridinova, Magdalena Roek, Evgenia Malamid, Charlotte Durif, Ellen Janiko, Johanna Ernst and Mina Markovic still yet to come. So although the probability is relatively high, the remaining athletes extremely well known, well within their abilities to get to the top of this wall, at least a few of them. Mathilde must be pretty on edge herself right now, probably watching from down the front now that she's finished her climb. That kind of tension stays with even the senior athletes. I remember seeing Magnus Midtbo at the bottom of the lead wall at the World Championships in Paris, who was sitting in 8th position, watching the last few climbs, panicking because he knew some of the big names were about to come out as to whether he was going to keep him to 8th position. So not long now, chaps, just waiting for the wall to be cleaned. You're not missing anything. And that man dangling from the wall isn't cheating, he's just cleaning the holds, making sure that it's as fair as it possibly can be for the other athletes that are about to come out now as well. Getting rid of a bit of chalk build-up. So that's what we're doing at the moment. And in a few seconds' time, we'll be ready to start things off again with both routes for the second half of the semi-finals here in Chamonix.
Come through with the money in the garden backs. Let them know we got that cake straight out the gate. We independent women, some mistake us for whores and say, why spend mine when I can spend yours? Disagree, but that's you and I'm sorry. I'ma keep playing these cats out like guitar. High heel shoes, getting love from the dudes for badass chicks on the roof.
to the 18th hole. Telesneva, born in 1989, now moving up to the 23rd hole. This yellow volume we have on the wall here. 28 plus, the one to get her through into the semis, into the finals rather, sorry. 27's just next to her now, onto the right. Big blue one. There it is. And remember that this is in reverse order as well from the qualifications. These are the ones that were highest to qualify now for the women's and the men's. Oh, that's a 28. And 29. And 30th now. She's going to move over to the 31st. The blue one you can see just to the left of her. She's already through into the finals at the present moment of time. Of course, she wants to be as safely through to the finals as she can. This is looking good for her now. Up to the 32nd. Looking very, very good here. Up to the 35th with the left hand now. Can Jana be one to challenge Mathilde at this stage? That'll take her time here. Too much of a rush and she's going to be coming down. We just lost Stefano Gazolfi. Let's stay with Jana though. This is looking nice. Just not quite enough. She was reaching for the 39th, which I believe gives her a score of 38 plus. Mathilde Brumang then. What a performance she's put in right at the very start. Still challenging the higher ranked athletes here, even at this late stage in the semi-finals. She must be very, very on edge right now. Jana at present unaware of how she's done just.
not to getting to the semi-final. So, and she climbed really, really well. If you look again at stressed, but still pleased. They're all top both of the qualifiers. So we need to have a good quota. We really badly need one, and I'm gonna be smoking cigarettes for this.
No one so far has made it up to the Pac-Man point on the wall as well that you set up there. And you said that the interesting thing that we've got with the Pac-Man is that that's actually another even harder section just before the top. So there is even a point that these athletes haven't got to that you still got in the bag, as it were.
Yeah, exactly. It's the same with the men's route, you know? It's not getting easier. Especially with the girls, the last 3 moves, it's like girls, it's last 3 moves. For the men, it's last 5 moves. So that's why I'm saying it's going to be interesting, because that's the point where it gets even harder than it is right now. So if you see them pumped right now, well, the ones that are going to be in the final, they should not be pumped at that place, but they should get pumped in the next moves. So that's why I'm saying it's going to be nice, because it's finally maybe going to be some information for us about the exact level of the best, you know. Yeah, this is the part what we were waiting for. The Pac-Man is that stuff. Getting to the Pac-Man and moving through the Pac-Man, you see, it's not a lot of holds because it's only like 4 or 5 moves. But these moves are definitely nothing that you're gonna be like, it's not positive holds that go in cut. It's more like, you know, flat holds. So there you need to just be keeping them, you know, hanging on them, and you're not gonna be jumping up to them and thinking you're gonna catch them. You have to control the moves up there.
You were saying earlier about Mathilde and the fact that she found some of these extra rest points. You can see Nikki van Bergen now has found a bit of a point where she's allowing herself a bit of a shakeout. Did you intend too many of these rests on this one? Because you were saying that they're both quite continuous routes.
Well, as I told you before, you see that for the women, there's a lot of footholds, so they can play a lot with the movements and the positioning. And it is a girl thing, you know, to find these like heel hooks and really get close with your body to the wall and take the rest. So maybe it was not as intended.
Jörg Verhoeven down. Jenny Levada coming out now for Italy. Jörg coming down around the 43rd hold. A good climb there for him, but still no top on either route here at the semi-finals in Chamonix. A nice spread though. We're seeing athletes getting to a lot of different points in the wall. It's not the same point each time that's costing them the top. Jenny Levada, the Lady Gecko, comes out for us now for Italy. And next out for the men's, Domen Skofic of Slovenia. Domen Skofic started climbing in 2000 at the age of 6. Trains 5 to 6 days per week for 3 to 4 hours a day, predominantly on a bouldering wall, even for the lead season. He's climbed 9A on rock and lists Chris Sharma as a huge influence at the beginning of his climbing career. He came first at the Male Juniors European Youth Championship in Grindelwald this year in bouldering. First at the Male Juniors European Youth Cup in Cran, that was in Lead, in 2012. 8th at the Men's Lead World Cup in Atlanta, if you remember that one. He has 15 gold medals from European Youth Cups and the European Youth Series from the year 2009 to present. And starting to fight some of the senior athletes as he moves up into the senior circuit, challenging some of the more experienced athletes for places in finals. You're all very quiet in the YouTube room and in the Twitter sphere. Is everybody all right? Are you enjoying the semi-finals? What do you think of the routes? Just heard from Adam Pustelnik, the chief route setter here. Hopefully we'll be speaking to him again during the finals later on this evening. Are you liking what you're seeing? What do you think of these two different routes and their styles? Steny Levaden out to the 27th hole. Dominskovic looking good here on the 31st and 32nd. Can he push up in for a place in the finals? Keep those thoughts coming in, guys, on the Twitter, hashtag IFSCWC. Never had a podium position. It's Mikhail Chernikov out next. You can just see him on the ground there getting ready. And Maja Vidmar for Slovenia, a lady who needs very little introduction. ...2012. She's currently world ranked 11th, and she has been as high as 3rd on the World Cup rankings at the end of 2011. Handhold there for him. Mikhail Chernikov, this is a good climb here for him. That's 41 and 42. Very nearly a new high point here for us. Chernikov moving up into that top 8 position. And not many still to come after him. Very impressive performance there. We've got Maya Vidmar here now, over on the 27th hold. Still with that 40 plus as our high point from Mathilde at the start. Had a nice chat with Adam Pustelnik about how well Mathilde climbed earlier today. The man to challenge the current lead European champion Ramonet is this man here now on the wall, who is the European champion in bouldering, Cedric Lechat himself, here now on the wall. Katharina Posch now out here for the women's. Another joint top during the qualification stage for Austria. Young climber, only 18 years old. Now moving into the tough section on the wall. Martin asking if we're going to see Magnus mid-ball today. Yes, we are. 4 climbers away from the mid-ball. Katharina Vosch here moving up to the 37th hold. Looking good for the young 18-year-old athlete from Austria. That's the 39th. She's going to be challenging Mathilde and Maya here at this stage in the competition. Mathilde no doubt getting more and more nervous, and here is this new young up-and-coming athlete, Dmitry Bakiranov. That's the 31st now for Dmitry. '21st for Dinara. Dmitry getting a little bit pumped now. He's going to have to take a little bit of a time to shake out the arms, and he is taking his time here. which is good to see as he's now moving up into the 2 triangles. He's just took the 36th hold here. This is going to be the make or break time for this young Russian athlete, whether he can push past his second triangle by moving over, dropping down a little bit to the right hand side before pushing up again to take 38th hold. There you can see where he is on the wall. There's the top within reach. Just taking a moment to look at where he's going from here. These are the top 3 athletes there for you. Cedric Lechat, 44 plus, Jorg Verhoeven, 43 plus, and Mikhail Chernikov with 42 plus. He's definitely got to get up at least that high, if not higher, to secure himself a place in the finals. Still quite a few athletes, 6 I believe, to come after he finishes. That's the 38th. He'll take his time here, get the positioning right with his feet. And now my palms are sweaty. 42nd hold for him here. This is getting really, really close to where he needs to be able to make it through. Dinara as well, moving up to the resistance section on the female wall. That's the 32nd hold she's got there with the right hand. Also taking her time to shake it out. Pain in the forearms building. Dimitri coming back down again. He is taking his time about this one. Could be a good thing. It's going to be whether or not he makes the 44th. That's the cut-off point, and he's now 43rd. He's 1 move away from making himself a place in the finals. That's the 44th. Take some time to sort the feet out. This is him moving into the gold medal slot. That's it. Dimitri is in the finals. 46th hold here now as well. And we see our first top. He's got to clip in here though. Our first top today, Dmitry Rakiranov. I told you to keep an eye on him as we started off this competition. Unbelievable. Our first top ahead of Jorg Verhoeven, Mikhail Chernikov, ahead of Cedric Lechat. A definite place through into the finals. This young athlete is going to be challenging the best here. Jennifer Wood joining us in the chat. Hello, Jen. Asking, why are their names not quite the same? That's something that stumped me for a little while as well. That's because certain Slavic states changed the last name for the masculine and the feminine. So the family name has the
go for it really and you don't know what the next hold is. Very, I might have been thinking of it, but he's been resting in places where, in fact, there is no rest. It's not that he just found this rest. He's just grabbing all the holds and like pulling in with his feet, and he's just strong. So we'll see what Gautier does right now. But I mean, this was not something I was expecting totally like for the guys to be climbing it as easily, just because apart from that one move out going to the left, up at the very top, well, he didn't seem like he had to commit to any of these moves so much.
Especially at the very top around the draw as well. That one with the left that you were talking about being the difficult jump across. He just didn't even really seem to think about it. He went straight up with the right and then just leant over and clipped. And he knew by then that he'd got it. The others that you think we might be seeing tops from now on in the men's?
I'd say Jakob. I'd say really take a look at like the favorites. So like Jakob, Ramon, Manuel Romain. I don't know. I really don't know his shape, but he looked really solid in the qualifiers. And well, I think basically right now we have to take a look at any of these guys because Gautier is climbing quite solid. Look, like he went up through it really without too much of a problem. So we'll see if that like undercling stuff, but it doesn't seem like to be as tired. Well, yeah, let's see. I'll just pass it on to you, Dan, because you're much better in commentating this.
I just want to ask you one last question about the women's then, just to jump quickly over onto that one. We've lost Gautier. And that was the one that we were talking about earlier. 41-42.
Going out left, changing these hands is not as easy. We pushed it a little bit more, like we turned it a little bit more vertical, so that we knew that it's gonna be hard. Well, it wasn't hard for Dimitri, but we pushed it a little bit, and we could see Gautier like seeming like a little bit even flash pumped. But on the women's, I mean, like getting to this Pac-Man stuff, that is where it's getting really, really hard. I was very curious about Maya because she looked solid, and she looked definitely much solid than Katrina seemed. Katrina seemed to be getting really tired all the way, but she just has simply more of a resistance. Now Magdalena is looking really solid on this. We'll see if she manages to catch the Pac-Man, and then after Pac-Man it's still not very, very easy. So let's see now. Yeah, she's there she's really solid with the Pac-Man. This could be really nice, in a second. This is good. It's not perfect, but it's okay. Solid. These.
Well, there's your first top for the women's as well here then. Magdalena Roig. She's got a clip in here.
Yeah, okay, she's done it. Really good effort, but not a very easy one. Really good effort. So we might be seeing definitely more than one top on this because Mina, yeah, I think so. I'm really curious about Hélène. She seemed to be in good form, and that's what the French team says as well. And Joanna, yeah. I'm very curious for the next ones. First stop, really good effort.
So what it looked like 40 plus for Mathilde earlier on was looking like she was leading the way all the way through this one in the goal place, the highest ranked to move through to the finals. That's now a little bit risky for her by the looks of things. It's looking like we might actually lose Mathilde.
I think she's lost already, she'll be just out of the final. She'll be like 9, something like that. And that's what I was thinking, like she'd be close to the 10, but she might not be getting there, especially since there's a like exact score in the qualifiers. So if she gets even the same score as the girls after her, she will lose it, unfortunately. But that's what I told you, like the last part, that's where it's getting hard, and that's where we see this real game of the division and the real level of the best ones, So this is what's happening right now, and well, for me, let's hope for the best. That means not many tops, but for the athletes, of course, I mean, like it would be nice to see them in really, really good shape, because then it means we have to do really good work again for the final. But hey, it's our job, and we'll do that. So.
I'm going to do that anyway, right? Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Adam, thank you for talking to us. I'll catch you for the finals later on, yes? Thank you. That was Adam. So, we've seen our first two tops then. One from Magdalena Roig on the women's and one for Dimitri on the men's. Any thoughts you guys might have, send them in to us on the Twitter. Hashtag IFSCWC. Jennifer Wood going to Imst in a couple of weeks. Very nice. could help him. Yep, he's using it. He's relying on it now to try and transfer the hands, but couldn't quite hold it as he moved past it. 43 there, our current first place position then. You can see it there. The Inzai Mokpo just missed out at the World Championships, as I was telling you that story earlier. Ended up in 9th place, so didn't quite manage to climb in the finals. Bronze medals for him at Chamonix here in 2011 as well. The crowd is starting to pick up because they can see Charlotte Durif coming out onto the wall here now, the former European champion. We'd like to start with her next attempt. Once again, one and all, if you want to get in touch with me or anybody else here, if you want to ask any questions, or if you just want to tell us how you are and how much you're enjoying it, we don't want to know if you're not enjoying it. You can get in touch with us on Twitter using hashtag IFSCWC or on YouTube. I'll keep having a look on there as well. Magnus Mippo, Charlotte Durif. Can she retake her title? 21st here. Let's just hope that he doesn't spend too long around a certain point on the wall. It's kind of Ramone's only downfall as a climber. As well at some interesting points. In the semi-finals, meaning that if they draw again in the finals later on, we can't go to countback. It will be a matter of timing. Say they're both top in the final. Instead of going to countback, we'll end up going to timing. Split those two athletes. We could have a three-way split just yet as well, because we've got Jakob Schubert still to climb, and if he tops here, could be even trickier, because all three of them have two tops from the quals. Johanna Ernst then, youngest ever world champion, did it at 15 years old. that in 2008. She's also been the European champion as well. Says that she actually tends to climb better at competitions than she does during training. She actually enjoys the pressure of a competition. And here's your world champion, Jakob Schubert. Johanna Ernst coming down here. Johanna Ernst coming down on around a 28th hold there. Not her best at all. I think that might actually mean that she could be out of the top 8 here. High probability of not seeing Johanna Ernst in the final. Some people joining us then asking whether Ramane topped. He did indeed. We've had a top from Dmitry, the young Russian athlete, a top from Ramane on the men's. In the women's, we've had that top from Katarina Porsche. Our last athlete is about to come out on the women's, and this is our last athlete for the men's. Jakob Schubert working to try and earn himself a place in the finals. And from the performance just from Johanna Ernst, that just goes to show how even the great athletes, the ones that are really well known, sometimes it just isn't their day. Let's hope it is for Jakob Schubert and that it is for Mina Markovic as well, as we complete our semi-finals with these two athletes. Looking at the world rank number 2 in Jakob Schubert in lead climbing, just pipped to it at the end of last year by Sachi Ama. Where's Sachi? Where is Sachi? Where's Sachi Ama? It's the European Championships. Sachi Ama from Japan, unfortunately not able to compete here. No contingent from Japan. They have no Kim Yain either. Ashley, on the Twitter, getting in touch there. Exactly what we were just thinking a moment ago. Johanna is down in 18th. Very unusual to see Johanna Ernst coming off at the 28th move here after 2 tops in the qualifications. I don't know what was going on in her head, whether she's just tired, achy, maybe she's got a strain injury, I'm not entirely sure, but that was just very unlike her there to come off. So yes, Johanna down in 18th, definitely not making it through into the finals. Jakob Schubert very close. Baden, where exactly is Chamonix? It's on the border between... as Jakob falls. Give me a second, I just want to figure out whether that's put Jakob through or not. Some surprises here at the latest point in the competition. It could be... could be some of our greats are not actually making it through to the final. We'll wait to see in a few moments' time. Chamonix then. It's kind of... well, it's in France, for one. Baden, but it's towards the border of Italy. Mont Blanc in the background. Google it. It's a good 5 minutes worth of your time. Give it a Google. Mina Markovic here. Mina here now at the point that Johanna Ernst just came off. Johanna Ernst came off going from this hold. Mina still managing to stick it. Interesting for Jakob, just came down around the 41st, 42nd hold. Mina now up on the 32nd hold here. She's still got to keep pushing here if she wants to see herself through. Mina up to the 38th hold here. Can we see a last minute top to close our semi-finals nicely? Jopney there, she's turning her feet positioning in here. Right foot up, she's going to have to... There it is. Mina Markovic with a top in the semi-finals. Mina Markovic and Magdalena Roek are tops of the women's, and for the men's, Dmitry Fakiranov and Ramone. And that is it, chaps. That marks the end of our semi-finals. Remember as well, we're back later on this evening for the finals a few hours from now. All details of that are on the IFSC's website, ifsc-climbing.org, if you're not on there at the moment. For now, let's have a look at the results and the standings from the semi-finals. Here we are then, 2 equal first places, Dmitry Fakiranov and Ramon Julian Poublanc. with the tops. Magnus Mippo in third, Cedric Lechat in fourth, Ramon de Grange, Jorg Verhoeven, Jakob Schubert all the way down in seventh, and Manuel Roman in eighth. Mikhail Chernikov just missing out. That'll be due to count back there. 42 plus, both those athletes were divided at. Dmitry Sharafudinov all the way down in 18th. And Loic Timmermans, who held the high point on this one for quite a lot of the competition, just misses out. He's down there in 14th there. In a few moments' time, we'll have a look at the women's as well. You can see at the bottom down here now as well, Mario Lechner, Christoph Hanke, Sebastian Helenke, unfortunately not making it through. There you can see the beautiful surrounds that we're looking at here in Chamonix in the town square. And here is the women's then. We have 4 equal third place athletes. Double first, Magdalena Roak and Mina Markovic with the tops. 42 plus for Maya Vidmar, Dinara Fakritinova, Evgenia Malamid and Ellen Janiko. That is because they were all tied in the qualifications as well. Katharina Posch and Charlotte Durif in tied 7th there, which wraps things up nicely with our 8 athletes all the way through. Adam, were you happy with today as we're watching these results come in? Have you got a nice spread?
It's not the best spread, but I think we were really close to what we wanted. I mean, like, I think we were really close to happening with just one top on both of the routes. It's kind of a surprise, you know, the way it goes. Like these ones that topped out. I mean, Nina and Ramon is not a surprise, but with Magdalena staying so strong, and with Dimitri staying so strong, that's wow. That's a really good run for them. I just want to see the results right now. What's happening with the ex aequo scores? You know, with the tied scores, because this might be a problem for us for the finals. So I'm gonna take a look at this for sure. But after yesterday's qualifs, for the women especially, I was really stressed. Now I'm a little bit more calm, you know. But we've still got our job to do. We're gonna do it well, of course. This is our job. We're gonna do it. And yeah, I'm much more relaxed right now than I was in the very morning. And I'm happy. You know, this is the first competition of the year. We don't really know what's happening. Like, what is their level at this moment and how well they prepared, because this is an important competition for the European nations. You know, so they seem to really prepare well for this. Go on.
Thank you, Adam, for coming back again and talking with us. Great to speak to the route setter, especially the chief, as often as we have done through this comp. I'll be chatting to you during the final later on for definite. And that, guys, gives you the results as they stand so far for the semi-finals. We're going to bid you adieu now for a short amount of time. We'll be back later on this evening for the finals.